Thanks for watching. I'm Margot Kinberg, and this is In the Spotlight, a closer look at a crime novel. In some crime novels, the lives of the sleuths intersect with those of suspects and witnesses. You often see this in a small town sort of mystery, and it can add layers to the story. Let's take a look at how that works today and turn the spotlight on Carlene O'Connor's Some of Us Are Looking. The story begins as Chris Henderson bursts into the Tralee Garda station, demanding that the police look into a Peeping Tom case. He's also upset with a group of young caravanners he claims are letting their dogs chase wild foxes. Sergeant Barbara Neely promises to follow up, but she and Detective Inspector Cormac O'Brien don't take it very seriously. But not long afterwards, Henderson is killed in a hit-and-run incident. When Neely and O'Brien get to the scene, they discover a wounded baby fox with its mother not far away. So they call local veterinarian Dr. Dimna Wild to get the foxes out of the way so they can investigate. That night, Dimna gets a visit from one of the caravanners, Bridget Sweeney. Bridget claims she and her caravan mates are being stalked. She shows Dimna a wounded rabbit and says that the stalker is responsible. Dimna's not sure what to believe. But she does tend to the wounded rabbit and tells Bridget she should contact the Garda. Bridget claims they won't believe her and flees. Then, the next morning, Dimna goes out on a vet call and finds Bridget's body tied to a tree and with her left hand missing. Soon, Dimna, O'Brien, and Neely are enmeshed in a case of multiple murders. There are several suspects, too. There are Bridget's caravan mates, Alan Flynn, Eve Murray, and Billy Sheedy. There are also Robert Brannigan, who harassed Bridget before, and his wife, who hadn't appreciated his interest in Bridget. There are other possibilities too, and there's a good chance that Bridget's murder is linked with Chris Henderson's murder. It's a complex case that puts Dimna especially in grave danger. So what are the elements in this novel? How does it all pull together? The story is set in the town of Kent on Ireland's Dingle Peninsula, and O'Connor places the reader there in terms of both the physical setting and the cultural setting. It's a small town, so people know each other and there's a history, and that's where the sleuths' lives intersect with other lives. The story is told in third person, past tense, from Dimna's, Cormac's, and Barbara Neely's perspective, so we learn about them. Dimna has recently come back to camp to take over her father's veterinary practice since he's been diagnosed with dementia. She is passionate about the animals she cares for and is sometimes more comfortable around them than she is around people. She has ties and a history in town which unfold as the novel goes on. Neely is 63 and moved from Dublin to Tralee so she can still do police work, but at a slower pace. Cormac O'Brien has his own past to contend with. There is an element of the police procedural as we go through the novel, so we follow the official Garda investigation. Dimna Wild's involved, though, too, so there's also an element of the amateur sleuth. She's drawn into an investigation almost against her will. She and Cormac are attracted to each other, but readers who don't like romance in their crime fiction will be glad to know they don't start seeing each other and it doesn't become a major part of the plot. This is not a light novel. In some places it gets gritty and there is real danger and sadness. Animal lovers will want to know too that in a couple of places there is risk to some animals. I can say without spoiling the story though that animals aren't murdered, there's not that kind of cruelty. We do find out the truth about the murders, but this isn't a happily ever after sort of story. There is real sadness, although there's also hope, especially for some of the characters. Some of Us Are Looking is the story of a set of related murders and the impact they have on a small Irish town. It features a group of characters whose stories intersect, a sadistic, elusive killer, and three protagonists who are determined to find out the truth. This has been Into the Spotlight. I'm Margaret Kinberg. Thanks for watching.